So I work full-time in London 5 days a week. And when I'm not in London, I'm coaching clients. And when I'm not coaching clients, I'm making YouTube videos or hosting our twice weekly live streams that we put out as a podcast. And if I'm not working on any of those, I may be filming a race and then creating content around that. So how the hell do I manage to master marathon training when I'm working full time? So in this week's vlog, we're actually going to talk about it, and it is a common sort of question I get asked. Fordy, how do you manage to do everything? How do you manage to train? How do you manage to sort of work full time? And as I've said a million times on this channel, I'm close to sort of 70 hours a week because I've got my 9-to-5 job and then I do all the coaching, YouTube and stuff as well. And it is a common question. How the hell do you do all your training? How am I getting to sort of 50-mile weeks for marathon training when I've got all this other stuff? It's really, really hard to sort of manage that work, training, life balance. So hopefully in this video, I'm going to help you sort of tell you what I do, but then you can hopefully work out how you're going to manage it as well. So the first thing I do is plan ahead and prioritize my schedule. I look at my diary, which I've got here, and I work out between sort of the hours that I've got to work, my coaching clients that I've got to do, say the live streams, and penciling in the sort of work that I do in the evenings, the content creation, the editing. How can I then fit my runs around that? So one of the benefits of working in London is the fact that I can get out in my lunch hour. I have an unpaid hour at lunch, so I tend to get out and do some running there, and that gives me the opportunity, running down the embankment and things like that, to get a session in, and then I can sort of, because I know the distances down there, I can then plan my sort of week based on how much time I've got and what sessions I need to do, because I can get them done a lot of the time in my lunch hour. And then looking at my schedule, I can then in the evenings also plan some runs in. Now, like I'll do a club session, I may run on a Wednesday. I can figure all that out based on my whole week pretty much. Now for me, I tend to do my long runs on a Saturday because the kids are basically at dancing. So it works for me to get my long runs done on a Saturday. But again, I may juggle that around. And this is the thing, what I'm trying to say to you. In terms of working, life balance and mastering marathon training, if you have like this here, I don't know if you can see that, but if you have like your calendar here, and I literally run everything that I do through this calendar. I have all my calls on there, I put myself reminders on there, I put what runs I've got to do on there. I use that in conjunction with my training plan. I'll come on to that, and that basically figures out my week. And I will sit there on a Sunday or sometimes a Monday on the train and just work out and double check that I'm going to be able to get X, Y and Z runs done, X, Y and Z sessions done, and ultimately get to the mileage that I want to that week. So again, just to make sure you're absolutely clear, prioritizing your schedule and working out how best on a week by week basis you can fit all your runs in versus your working hours is key to mastering marathon training when working full time. Now the next ingredient in this sort of pot of mastering marathon training and working full time is to have a flexible training plan. On the screen now is my training plan for the next couple of weeks, and this is a plan that is totally adjustable. Now if you're one of my coaching clients, and if you're interested in coaching, just head over to fordyruns.com/coaching, but you will know that on the app that we use, we can move sessions around on a literally minute by minute basis. You can customize anything, we can change anything, and I'm using the same methodology because I think if you're sort of coaching people like that, you should be doing the same yourself. So I can change all these runs around. I can move everything based around what I just spoke about in terms of my schedule. It's really, really important if you are somebody who has a very hectic job, maybe you're working shifts, that sort of thing, having a flexible training plan that not necessarily is a 7-day week, work on a 10 to 15 day rotation and think about how you're going to get those key sessions in. By having that flexibility in your plan, that honestly will help you master the marathon training. Now, an interesting sort of tip, or whatever you want to call it, that a lot of people don't think about when sort of working out their marathon training or mastering their marathon training, is to sort of use those gaps in your marathon training. If any opportunity comes up to get some miles in, I'll take it. If I have some extra time in the evenings or maybe in the day, I'll get to the gym. But at the same time, if a client cancels or there's a gap in the diary, I will catch up with stuff. So like, again, with like editing or planning the podcasts or doing some emails and responding to maybe some coaching inquiries, those sort of things. And if I can use that time, maybe instead of running, then that will free me up again to do the long runs and some of the sessions in the day. So it's a bit of a balance, you know. So yeah, if there's a space in the diary, I may go out and run. But on the flip side, if I'm able to get some of the work done that would normally stop me from running, that's another opportunity. So there's some of the things also to think about. And as I say, maximising those sort of gaps in the diary that you may have could be key to actually getting some miles in for that marathon training. Now, a little cheat that I've not actually done very well at this year is to sort of take the opportunities to combine sort of cross training. Now, cross training we know is key, right, for marathon training. By the way, check that out, look. But cross training is key for marathon training, like injury prevention, all that sort of stuff. But it is hard to kind of fit in, right? So the thing is, looking at ways in which you can add cross training into your week that may not be so impactful on the rest of your schedule is a cheeky little win. So I'll give you an example of a way to sort of win at cross training and life. If you've got like young kids or whatever and your weekends are tight in terms of what you're doing, maybe think about like going out for a bike ride. I know it might seem a bit nuts, but you might not have time to do it in the rest of the week. But doing like, I don't know, a bike ride with the kids, taking them swimming, you know, if you're able, like, I don't know, if the wife's okay to sort of watch them for a bit while you go in and do a few lengths, those sort of like cheeky little wins can really help in terms of mastering this marathon training, get some of that cross training into the week, but in ways that you might not necessarily have thought of. And as I say, there's sort of little wins, little bonuses that you may get in the week because you're short on time as ever. And the other thing to think about as well is maybe like put on YouTube, like a HIIT session. We've got one at 40 Runs, it's like a 20-minute HIIT session. Just stick it on, maybe you're working from home and you've got like a little gap between meetings. Get changed, or maybe, you know, do the meeting in your gym gear. Run downstairs, do the HIIT session and then run back up again. They're the sort of cheeky little wins. I say I've not maximised that in this training block, to be honest with you, but it has been something I've done before and it has helped with, again, those sort of little gaps that we talked about in the schedule. If you can do some of those little like cross training, those little wins, it all helps towards that marathon goal. Now, one thing that people don't do is listen to their bodies. When you're working full time and you're marathon training, to be quite frank with you, it's exhausting. It just destroys you in bits if you're not careful. So you really got to like take time to rest and recover when you can. I can't emphasise how important it is to listen to your body and recover, because I don't know, look, you might be like me, you're doing 20,000 steps a day without marathon training. You might be somebody like a nurse who's on their feet all day. You might be doing shifts. You might be more tired than like somebody who's not, you know, maybe working nights. Those sort of things. So you want to be able to take this rest and recover when you can. But I appreciate, you know, life is busy, life is tough. And marathon training adds on to that. So my tip, my advice, my piece of information, whatever you want to call it, sort of as we get towards the end of this video, it is genuinely to listen to your body and rest when you can. Putting your feet up, like today, right? So as an example, I'm filming this, yeah? So again, technically I'm working, I count this as work, but the girls are out, they're in London doing a dance thing. So I've got an opportunity, after I film this, I've got to edit it, but to put my feet up to rest and recover and let my body heal from the week of mileage I've done. I've done 47 miles this week. So I've now got an opportunity to rest and recover. Tomorrow's going to be a day off from running. So I'm listening to my body. I'm in the sort of the worst part of marathon training. The mileage is huge at the moment. So you've got to listen to it and you've got to let your body, but also your mind recover. So take some advice from me on that side of things. If you're marathon training, working full time, you've got a busy life, kids, family, whatever, right? Take that rest when you can. Go to bed early. You know, have a little lay-in when you can. Honestly, it's a key, people. It really is to sort of managing and mastering marathon training when working full time. So I want to finish this video by telling you to prioritise your family and prioritise life, yeah? Marathon training can suffocate you if you're not careful. It can consume you, consume your life. You're focused on long runs, mileage, speed sessions, club sessions, all this sort of stuff. It can just overwhelm you. And it's really important that when you are marathon training, if you take on something like this, which is huge, that you still prioritise your family. You make those decisions about what's going to be best for your family, what's going to be best for your life. You know, if the kids want to go out for the day, I'm sacking off a long run. No problem at all. If Nick wants to do something, we'll do it, yeah? It's not the end of the world. It's like, I'm not bothered. Like, if there's a race or whatever, I'll cancel it. I won't go. If she says, oh, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. It's more important. And that's the thing. Don't lose sight of that. And I think that actually is the key to mastering all of marathon training. If you've got a happy life, happy wife, but a happy life balance with marathon training, with work, with recovery, with rest, and all that sort of stuff, then actually you'll be fine. You'll get through it. And yeah, it will be tiring. I'm not going to dress it up in any other way. It's going to be hard, but you will get through it. But listen to some of the things I've told you today, and it will help, honestly. It really, really will. So there we go, team. I hope that was useful this week. I wanted to do that, and maybe, you know, you're about to take on a marathon and you know, you've realised everything that I've said actually hits home well, or maybe you're about to start that marathon journey. So think about what I've said this week. But yeah, that's it. That's the weekly vlog. I'll catch up with you guys next week. Make sure you've hit that subscribe button because we are going to be back next week. I'll see you guys later.